are going to roll out, and immediately, if I'm driving one of those cars, I know how I stack up. As soon as we start all rolling off together, and it's my goal to right now say the first
let's
win
go practice.
is practice. And you have a chance to do that. You're
Phoenix Way.
Show everybody right now you're the one to beat.
Are there some nerves as a driver, Jeff? Because so much work has gone into this moment, rolling off in practice, so much input in, sim and all the work to get the setup right. You find out right now whether it worked or not.
Well, you really do, and I'll tell you, Denny Hamlin, his comments to us yesterday, I thought were fascinating. But Denny Hamlin is so good at what he does, but he feels like he needs to do something a little different at this race. So he's been working hard on his driving style. So he comes here doing something a little bit different. Some things he's learned from teammates, some things he's learned from other racers, and he led his team down a path on setup. If I'm going to drive this car a certain way, then you guys got to change the setup, right? And I think that's extremely fascinating going into the championship race.
Ready. 24 seconds. Ready.
To say, I got to be better if we're going to win
Let me
this
start
race.
it back up.
And it's been an awful time it took to get there. I want to see how it
I
works
want
out.
to see it.
I think that's different is,
Here we go. Look. You see it?
I see it.
At least the first run. And here we're going to have basically all 36 cars. So it's going to be really
38 minutes of practice.
right now with Denny Hamlin, the Toyota Hardware Hammer. If you see ahead, cars rolling off
38
the road
minutes.
slow.
29.
Man, he's going to be in heavy traffic.
He's hoping these guys just pull over for him, but they are not going to oblige.
So I don't like the rolling off pit road slow approach that Briscoe and Hamlin and everybody did. I like going off right away hard and make everybody blend. Because now you're in a mess. You're in the back of this field, and this is useless.
It works when the field's split, right? When the field is split like we do every other week, you roll off slow, you get the field separated, you get clean air, but when every single car is on the racetrack at the same time, I'm with you, Steve. It's just better to blast out there and get going.
So is this Denny just looking for some clean track, Jeff? Because he kind of took off and pulled back down.
If he's looking for clean track, he's going to have to keep looking because there's not much out there. A little hole right here behind the car he owns, Bubba Wallace, but slow car overhead.
I mean, it's just closed everything I had open.
Of course, Denny Hamlin trying to win his first ever championship. He already has a Hall of Fame resume, win number 60 in the books. A couple of weeks ago at Las Vegas, it was an emotional win. Jeff, that day for Denny Hamlin, thinking of his dad Dennis, who has not been feeling well, certainly wants to win the championship for him, but he had to go get win number 60 at Las Vegas.
Yeah, the drive that he put on and did of that race, to just go out and find a little bit more, kind of put everything else to the side, championship, all that stuff, and just said, this is 60, right? I'm going to do whatever I've got to do to get the 60th win. And he found another gear. He found a little bit of speed, and that's the kind of wins that race car drivers love. It's the same as when you're practicing when you're a kid, playing basketball in the backyard. You're shooting, you're counting the clock down, 1,001, 1,000. You hit the shot to win the championship. That's what is the equivalent for a driver winning a late race battle.
19 Chase Briscoe also tons of cars in front. I'll get a good idea of how his car is in traffic. He's hoping to not be much of this traffic on Sunday.
So to your point, like it's very hard to compare our championship four because they're all in different type of traffic. Wow, what is that?
That's an issue. Flat tire. Sounds like a flat tire.
Left rear for Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, so when the cars are rolling off, this is a track that you do try to run some low air pressure. And I noticed a wrinkled up sidewall, which is not anything new. Very fortunate for the 19. It happened on the racetrack. Now,
Red flag.
The part is you could hear what was bottoming out. That was probably some of the vertical strakes on the diffuser. That will absolutely take some speed away. The 16 also has something smoking. Is that the left side? I can't tell.
Got the left front just a bit on the apron, like trying to get it to turn initially.
Red's out. Red flag is out.
So we have two left side tires flat, only 5 laps into practice, so this is some nervous moments.
That's it.
That's a very fortunate place for that. He immediately felt it, was able to get slowed down, had the car going straight with enough racetrack to keep it in line. That happened 100 yards later, he could have been in big trouble.
We've run this tire combination at New Hampshire, Richmond, Martinsville, in the spring, but this is by far the fastest and the most loaded racetrack we've run this tire combination. Let's listen to the 19.
Not vibrate, just ever so slightly for lap 2 or 3. But I didn't think anything of it. Yep, I think about it.
Yeah, little vibration, which, like you said, he didn't really have any concern with that. So now he's just waiting to probably be towed in. He doesn't want to drive it in on the flat tire. Dave?
So, Steve, the tires don't look as crinkly, I'll call that, on the left side as they did last week at Martinsville, where the minimum pressure recommended by Goodyear is even lower. But here, leaving the garage, I noticed on the way out, I was just looking at them, on the left sides, the left rear was definitely crinkly, more than the left front. So, lower pressure there perhaps on the left rear. Is that a speed secret you guys try to work on a little bit?
There's green.
Everything just Steve said. I mean, if you wore off
way off driver.
thousandths of an inch off of those straights, you want to get that repaired. That is important to make downforce.
Now, the interesting thing is, unlike a normal weekend, the car's not impounded. So every week we go through inspection, you push the pit road, you run 20 minutes, you qualify. You can only change what NASCAR is going to approve. The 19 still has control of their race car. So if James Small doesn't love what he sees on that floor pan, doesn't love what he sees in that diffuser, they can make a change. Now, the problem is, with 44 minutes left of practice, you're not going to make that change in practice. So you're going to have to decide what the priority is, what you want to use your time for.
Jeff, if you're Chase Briscoe, what's going through your mind right now? You got, what, a half lap on the track, and then this happened.
Just calm yourself down. Understand that there is still time in this practice. There's still time in the weekend. Every championship runs through challenges. There's never a championship that gets won in any sport that's easy, right? Right off the bat, this is a challenge to their championship battle. But this is why you have that kind of guy, James Small's crew chief. That's why you have that talent around you, is it to be able to overcome these things. But what worries you is you're sitting here learning nothing, and your competition is on track, and they are getting smarter every lap that they make. This is definitely a disadvantage to this point.
I think this is that moment where, you know, I always like to stay off the radio. I'd be sticking my head in the window. It'd be a face-to-face conversation with my driver. I'd be like, look, great job. You didn't wreck the race car. We're going to take a look, see what we have to do. You know, it's kind of like a good quarterback in a 2-minute drill. You can get a lot done in 2 minutes in a football game, or you can get nothing done. And I think at 43 minutes, you know, you see, look, James isn't running around, panicked. He's waiting for his guys to report back on what they need to do. And at this point, I think it's really about quality over quantity. So I would say, hey, if we have to burn 20 minutes to get the car right, what I don't want to do is go run 43 minutes and then think, oh, man, the car wasn't right anyway.
And I think this is where, yeah, we talk about how this is Chase Briscoe. You see him giving information and feedback. And now look at this, Christopher Bell.
Well, and now
with an issue.
Yeah, so now they know that air pressure, camber,